How is this looking? 1 second. I need to see myself better.
Yes, because that's what's important, isn't it, Rita?
Yes. Like the cat from that sci-fi series. Anyways, you start the episode.
You can set your clock by that cat, can't you? The second we start recording, she dives behind the thing and starts rattling around, or whatever it is she's got hidden back there.
She wants her toy. I'll pick it up for her.
Okay.
Right?
Howdy, folks.
Baby.
Rita's getting. We've got this. It's her. She plays with everything that we buy for her. It's not like the other cats. We just like ignore it.
Maybe we can have a new.
But this Akazuki goes crazy for it.
Put it on the share, see if
Akazuki.
she becomes your this week's guest.
It's this week's special guest, Akazuki. Akazuki, what's it? What is it? Oh, now Zhu's actually getting interested, which is unusual. Oh. What is it, Akazuki? What's that? Is that your fishy?
Oh, it's the fishy.
It's the fishy.
Oh, big jump.
Oh, there she goes.
She wants to drag it.
Oh, where is it? She absolutely loves this thing. Oh, baby. Yes. Arr. Such a mighty huntress. No, you can't take it through. Oh, God.
She wants to take you on a walk. That's what she's doing.
Yeah, that's what she does with this thing. She'll grab it, and then she'll take me for a walk. Anyway, don't worry, we'll edit that out. Welcome to another episode of Mingles with Jingles. Or perhaps it should be called Meter with Rita.
Jingles with Ringles, which sounds a bit better.
Okay.
Yeah.
T-shirt of the week.
Oh yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, Rita as well.
Yes.
It looks just like Juicy, except
It does.
Juicy without the tattoo, the Yakuza tattoos and the tanto.
And the little knife. Yes.
That's the tanto.
Oh, okay, sorry. I don't know.
What do they teach these kids in school these days?
You learn something every day. And besides that, I got my...
Oh, your alien queen necklace.
Yes, I got my alien queen necklace and I got my alien ring. Then we got at Comic-Con.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, well that's good. So yes, T-shirt of the week 2020, written by Stephen King.
Absolutely.
It's like every month this year, just when you think things couldn't get any worse, 2020 says, hold my beer.
Yes. And on that note, what do we have this week?
Speaking of beers, so I'm on the Belgian Trappist beers.
All
we
right.
have...
Is that a Boulogne, Belgium?
It is. Le Trappe, presume it's pronounced.
Alright.
So there you go, this is a strong ale, brewed and bottled in the Netherlands. Okay.
Alright, let me see.
And we also have St. Bernardus Abbey Ale Pater 6. And this is actually brewed in Belgium. So there you go. In fact, it's actually in Belgian, well, French on the back. So, and because everybody was getting all, I'm trying to think of the polite way to put this, anal about it,
Alright.
we have proper glasses this time.
Oh, yeah.
Germans like.
So you're having this one, yeah?
No,
No? Alright.
that's why I gave it to you. Oh yeah, Richard, I gave it to you because that's the one I'm having.
So I'll take the tap.
Yeah, the actual...
The proper glass.
The glass, because
Yes.
the beer crate with the selection came with a glass as well.
And you get the left.
And I've got the left A glass. So apparently it's all in how you pour it.
Oh dear.
So...
We're gonna be judged.
Yeah, we're going to be... I can't wait to see the comments. No, it's not how you're supposed to pour it. I mean, God. First it's like, oh my God, you're drinking it out of a can. All right, so we're drinking it out. No, you're supposed to drink it out of a glass. Because it's all to do with the yeast in the bottom of the...
I think when it comes to beer, you can never please Greeks nor Trojans.
Or Germans.
Or that. Yeah.
Germany's like, it's beer. It's no laughing matter. It's very serious business. So these are both two completely different beers.
Mm-hmm.
There's some head on this one.
Check me out.
I think that's probably the difference in the beer rather than
Give me some.
any particular pouring style.
Give me some positive words. God damn it. Oh, this smells nice. Yeah, this is agreeable.
Man, there's some head on this thing. I'm going to have to give that a minute or so.
Yeah. Wanna try?
Sure.
It's what I would expect from a beer, from beer from that area. Very much so.
What? The Netherlands?
That's so.
The Low Countries.
Yes.
That also includes Belgium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is very much what you get on tap over there.
Oh, that is very nice. Tastes a bit like Leffe.
Yep.
Akizuki, you can't have any beer.
Oh, she's being very curious with drinks like this. We need to be careful.
Yeah.
She's at the age, she's a teenager.
It's not for little cats.
Jack, you're not my real daddy.
Yeah, you can't tell me what to do, you're not my real dad.
Yeah.
So,
What's for this week?
copyright infringement on Twitch.
Oh. First time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time, huh?
Yeah.
YouTube live stream.
Live stream.
First time, huh?
Yeah. To be honest, no, you start with the subject.
So, copyright infringement issues have always been a bit of a concern for content creators. While communities try their best to keep them in check, sometimes things get out of hand. Streamers and Twitch have been hit with waves of Digital Millennium Copyright Act claims against their clips. So, a couple of tweets here from Twitch support. This is the first time we've received mass DMCA claims against clips. We understand this has been stressful for affected creators and are working on solutions including examining how we can give you more control over your clips. We adhere to the DMCA, which requires that we take action on content and streamer accounts upon notice from rights holders, as happened this week. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Twitch have done, well, I'm not going to say nothing wrong, but they're certainly, this isn't their fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our guidelines for music have not changed, so please reference them here, where they give a link to their community guidelines on music.
Yep.
So, the DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act. As long as Twitch meets specific requirements, DMCA grants protection from copyright infringement liabilities. The two conditions being that the company takes down such content and issues a ban on repeat offenders. Pretty much exactly the same as
On YouTube. Yes.
Twitch is obliged to follow the rules, and hence they will be coming up with updated terms of service for their users. As of now, they have claimed that their guidelines for music haven't been changed. This is true.
Yeah.
You were never supposed to stream copyrighted music.
Yeah.
But people just ignored the rules and they went ahead and did it anyway.
And Twitch kind of ignores too.
And Twitch really didn't regulate it, because
No.
Twitch isn't really required to unless they get issued a notice under the DMCA.
Yeah.
Then they comply with the terms
They
of
have
the,
to,
of
otherwise
the
they
Act.
get under trouble. Yeah.
So the problem, and the reason the DMCA exists in the first place, is that copyright laws never took into account the existence of something like YouTube and Twitch, platforms that make it easy for millions of people to publish potential copyright infringing content to an audience of hundreds of millions of people every day. See, when copyright laws were written, the only way to get content pushed to any size of audience was to own a newspaper or a TV, radio, or movie studio. Organisations like this have lawyers paid to take care of any copyright or licensing issues, so the laws were written with this in mind. If any copyright issues arose, it got sorted out between the lawyers employed by the various companies involved. I'm sure it's a complete coincidence that these copyright laws also ensured that copyright lawyers never ran out of work. The point is, under the existing laws, if you publish something on YouTube or you stream something on Twitch that violates these laws, the only legal response was to take you to court and sue you.
Yep.
So this is why the DMCA was created, as a way of dealing with this, so Joe from Butthole, Ohio doesn't get taken to court when he uploads a clip of his cat sleeping in front of the fire with Rick Astley playing on a radio in the background.
Yep.
You have to own or have licensed any music that you play in your streams. Otherwise you're violating copyright and shit like this is going to happen. So YouTubers are watching Twitch streamers lose their minds over all of this, and we're all just going, first time, huh?
I wish that Twitch would just mute the clips. Because it's not the live streams themselves, it's the clips that are getting us into trouble. And they can just mute the clips, because they mute the VODs. Why not just mute the clips as well, and gets us all out of trouble pretty much?
Or, and I realise that this is an unpopular sentiment, or you could try just not streaming stuff that you don't own the rights to stream.
Yeah.
Just stop breaking the law. Rather than complaining that the platform that you're breaking the law on isn't covering up the evidence of your crimes for you.
It has become incredible. The thing is, the nature of content creation between Twitch and YouTube differs. In YouTube, you can play for many hours offline, and you only will show the best. You only will get to the proper points. While on Twitch, we spend hours upon hours trying to get those good matches. We do everything live. So the nature between websites is much different. Even though we are sort of creating the same kind of content.
Yeah.
And playing something like World of Tanks for 6 to 8 hours without any music.
I believe World of Tanks comes with music that you are
repetitive.
That
it
you
gets
have
repetitive, Paul. As much like genuinely, even things like
okay, go on.
Even things like, for example, Bethesda's Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 5. It has an amazing soundtrack, but even that gets old after a while, and you just want to pop some Take 5 or some Bon Jovi.
So basically, your argument is, but I want to. And that basically seems to be the reaction of most Twitch streamers. But I want to.
One thing I started doing is, because there are websites that offer free music, which it gets repetitive after a while, because there's only so much that is actually good out there. That is under the CC, the common rights.
Communal Commons, I think.
Yes.
Creative Commons.
Creative Commons, thank you.
And it was CC.
Like, it's very limited what it's out there available that is actually decent. So I actually started playing basically playlists of gaming music.
Oh, you got to be careful.
It's the closest thing I can get.
Yeah, but you don't own the rights to it.
But it's gaming music.
Yeah, but it's gaming music that you don't own the rights to.
But it's
I've had copyright claims on videos where I've put the Quake 3 soundtrack on, written by Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails, and publishing rights owned by his music company.
Yeah.
All of that music was written by somebody for money.
I know.
And is owned by a publishing company. You don't own the right to even gaming music.
I know, but that's the thing. Are we?
I know, but I want to.
But are we supposed now to just play every single game in complete sheer silence, besides like the grunts, like
Well, I think
I
think I heard something about, because Twitch is owned by Amazon, isn't it?
Yes.
And Amazon Music.
Yeah.
I think there's some sort of deal coming where.
I hope so.
Because I've got a ton of music on Amazon Music, which I basically most of my music. I've not got a ton of CDs, but I don't buy music physically anymore. I buy music from Amazon Music. I don't touch the Apple App Store or the iTunes Store. But Amazon Music is where I have most of my music, and I can access it from any of my devices. It doesn't give me the right to stream it over the internet.
I know, and I totally understand what you're saying, but we need also to understand that the laws are archaic. The laws are archaic, and Twitch is much different than YouTube. Though I miss those days back when you could just put the video out and put some.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I had a lot of music that I didn't own the rights to in a lot of videos.
Yeah, some time ago.
And I had to go and get rid of around about 700 videos.
I know, I remember that.
Right, either mute them out But videos
That was
more than a
good.
year old, YouTube wouldn't allow you to edit. Or if they'd gotten more than a certain number of views.
Yeah.
I think it was 100,000 views and you couldn't edit the video. Well, most of my videos get more than 100,000 views.
Another problem is that Twitch has been around, I think, ever since 2011, 2012. Back in, actually before it becoming Twitch.tv.
Yeah, when it was
called Justin.tv.
Justin.tv,
I know
yeah.
that because I am that ancient on that website. I'm part of the furniture. And one of the biggest problems as well is that for a lot of people who have been around for such a long time, managing all those clips, it's a nightmare. And Twitch does not really provide us with a proper tool to manage those clips.
No.
And it's a massive headache.
I was watching, I tuned into Flamu playing World of Warships last week, and it was around about the same time he reached 100,000 subscribers.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
So, yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
You evil gnome. No, I'm the evil gnome, he's an evil goblin.
Goblin, oh my god, that's worse.
And it was on his Tone Deaf Tuesday, because
Alright.
he does this thing called Tone Deaf Tuesday, where you can donate and play whatever music you want, and so naturally his community completely trolls him, and there's all kinds of weeb shit gets played, and Mongolian throat music and what have you, none of which he owns the copyright for.
Stop talking those things. Alright?
So he had something like 1,000 clips that had to be gotten rid of,
It's a nightmare.
and trying to do it through the Twitch interface would take days.
Yeah.
So there was an
It's
external
a
app that
script.
had been written, a script that will basically go through and just delete your clips for you. And
Yeah.
that was taking hours.
I very much want to thank Flamu and his community, because I went to the chat and said, yo, I heard from Jingles that you may have had a tool, and I've been around Twitch ever since it's been created, and it's going to be a nightmare for me. And they're promptly, both Flamu and people in chat promptly sent me the links and everything I needed, so thank you guys.
Okay, this should be the yeasty bit at the bottom of the glass, and that's now going in. And that should change the flavour. Apparently, I don't know.
Check you out.
Do you want to try some?
Yeah. Want to try some of mine again?
No, it's fine. It's a very different flavour. It tastes like a British ale, which is no bad
It
thing.
really does. It really does.
It's a bit like the Cubans export,
Mm.
or tenants. Anyway, so
It's like thank parties and bad decisions.
so on the subject, on the subject of clips being hit that go back years, the reported claims mentioned the report claims. This has been very badly written, I'm sorry. But anyway, clips that date back to 2017. Streamers such as Jake and Bake and Fusely have been hit with multiple copyright claims.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Fusely tweeted, I've been issued 2 copyright strikes on my channel, both from clips over a year old. In the past week, and told that if they find one more violation of my clips, my Twitch account will be perma-banned.
Yeah.
Jake and Bake tweeted, you need to implement the same feature that VODs have, muted when copyright works are detected, into clips. That's what you were saying. There are individuals who have created bots that can scan and detect copyrighted works and flag them, so why can't Twitch?
Exactly.
While Jake and Bake raises a good point, another good point might be that you wouldn't be in the shit in the first place if you hadn't routinely been stealing music for years. But I want to. First time, huh? Yeah.
You're just getting a kick out of this.
I'm loving it. I really am.
You're just getting a kick.
I'm like, yeah.
You bastard.
So, Fusely also mentioned that when she got in touch with Twitch, she advised her to delete the videos to avoid action. While it's easy for a new or small-time streamer to delete some of their works, Fusely and Jake and Bake have got thousands of clips. Fusely tweeted, I'm working hard to get as many of the clips removed as possible right now to prevent a third strike and permaban. I'm so sad that this is the only solution that I have right now. I really hope we can figure out a better option for content creators going forward. Well, that's fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
It does kind of suck that there's no easy way to comply with the regulations after the fact, and there does need to be an easier way for streamers to ensure that any infringing material is removed. TT Few tweeted, "Imagine promoting someone's music to your community just to get a DMCA strike." Yeah, TT Few. The term you're looking for there isn't promoting, it's stealing. But nice try. Trust me, we tried that, didn't fly either. Twitch support on Twitter claim to be working on resolving the issue. They've assured that they'll examine ways to give creators control over their content without facing such problems again in the future. Or, and I realise that this is a radical suggestion, you could just try...
I'm gonna punch you!
You could just try not stealing music. Just try not breaking the law. Oh. First time.
Fuck off.
Anyway, have you ever heard of the Internet Archive?
I think it's familiar, but no, not really.
Okay. It's a huge non-profit library of millions of free books, movies, software, music and websites.
Alright.
Most of their stuff's in the Creative Commons, but a lot of their stuff isn't. It's copyrighted.
Mm-hmm.
But they work as a sort of online lending library. The stuff's encrypted, so you can't, copy it and keep it. And you have to return it within a certain period of time.
All right.
It's the general idea of the Internet Archive. Well, during the lockdown, they were giving away books online for free as what was called a National Emergency Library.
Okay.
Sounds like a great idea. They removed the lending restrictions which were in place for 1.4 million books in their open library, which came as a massive relief for students and teachers who were trying to learn from home during the lockdown. They said they'd keep the lending restrictions lifted until June the 30th or the lockdown ended, whichever came sooner. But what they should have said was they'll keep the lending restrictions lifted until June the 30th, the lockdown ended, or they got sued by America's leading book publishers, whichever came first.
Yeah.
Can you guess which came first? Because it's not June the 30th yet, and the
suing.
lockdown hasn't
The
ended.
suing. Yeah.
Yeah, they were giving away books for free so students and teachers could learn from home. And America's leading book publishers decided, we can't have that. We want to sell them books so that they can learn from home, and threatened to sue them. So the Internet Archive has had to close the National Emergency Library.
Bastards.
See, it's not just games publishers who are evil. Is that both sides? I've printed both sides now, check me out.
Wow, you're actually learning.
Yeah. I should probably print in larger text for my old eyes.
You have the gorgeous eyes.
I do.
I only recently figured out they are green, not blue.
She's been saying I have blue eyes for years.
Yeah.
Heresy, they're green.
Yeah.
So, Star Citizen. I actually tried to play Star Citizen last week because I've been getting into Elite Dangerous quite a bit, and I thought, you know what, let's give Star Citizen another look, because it's probably been 2 years since I actually played. So I did a fresh install because I figured the game launcher was probably out of date by now. So I just deleted everything, fresh install. Took a while, many gigabytes, fresh, clean install, logged in, and sat at a loading screen for about 17 minutes.
Damn.
It was... I tried to play Star Citizen, who, by the way, are now up to $300 million raised on Kickstarter, 7 years after their Kickstarter started.
300 million.
300 million.
And the game is still not out.
And it's still not out. 300 million after the game went into Kickstarter at the same time as Elite Dangerous went into Kickstarter, and Elite Dangerous has been out for 4 years, and their second expansion comes out next year.
Alright.
And Star Citizen has even... Do you remember... Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. But yes, so I'm trying to play. I may actually end up doing a video on this. I got to the menu screen, and it gave me a choice of locations that I could start in. So I picked one. I didn't know what they were. I just picked one at random. Sat there staring at the loading screen for 17 minutes, and then suddenly I'm in a bunk in a cabin in a space station. And then I tried to sit up, and I managed to sit up after a couple of seconds at a rate of about 1 frame every 3 seconds. and then it started playing background music, or trying to. I would get half a second of music every 4 seconds.
Jesus.
It was absolutely horrific. I stopped trying to move at that point. I thought we'll give it time to load in all the textures, because clearly I don't know what it's been doing for the last 17 minutes, but it obviously wasn't loading in the geometry and the textures. And then at around about 1 frame every 3 seconds, I started trying to leave the room. I got to a terminal that was apparently selling weapons for my starship, which just didn't work, or at least I thought it didn't work, but it took 40 seconds for the terminal to respond to my pressing the press here to start button.
Yep.
And then it said, please make a selection from the available options on the left, and there were no options on the left, and I had to wait another 20 seconds for them to load in. Apparently, this is not the usual experience. They did this thing called Fleet Week, or Invictus, whatever. They do this every year, where it's basically an excuse for them to sell even more promises of ships. And there was a lot more server traffic. Well, eventually it crashed, and then I got back to the loading screen, and my 3 different choices of places where I could load in to walk around had been reduced to 1. So, okay, that's my one only choice. I don't know what happened to the other 2 stations. And then another 15-minute loading screen later, it crashed again. So that's my 2020 Star Citizen experience. But yes, they've now raised $300 million in funding from its players, and clearly none of that's been spent on the game's infrastructure. Back in December, Cloud Imperium Games crossed the $250 million mark with a particularly good month, netting them roughly $11 million, but player investment dropped to a mere $5 or $6 million per month after that. Until May, when their monthly total suddenly soared to over $15 million. As Outcar.com points out, this is probably due to the release of the Drake Complete Pack 2950, a bundle of 14 ships which sold for $4,600.
Yep.
Jesus. Right now it's Alien Week in Star Citizen, with a focus on the extraterrestrials of its setting and their ships, which of course are also now on sale. Yeah. Do you remember a while back they reacted to fan frustration at the lack of development? Well, the frustration...
Even I have expressed that a few episodes back with a towel.
Well, the fan frustration that doesn't get stomped on by the acolytes of the Church of Chris Roberts, who stomp all over anybody who has anything bad to say about Star Citizen. So they started pushing out a roadmap where, these are our goals for this quarter, that's what we're going to implement here, that's what we're going to implement there, and so on and so on. And then almost immediately started missing those roadmap goals. Well, they stopped even updating the single-player Squadron 42 roadmap. There's just a sign. There's a sign, some text at the top of the screen on the roadmap that just says we're not updating this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. $300 million, still in alpha.
And no signs of coming out.
Horribly unoptimized. No sign that it's coming out anytime soon. Meanwhile, Elite went into Kickstarter at the same time. It's been out for 4 years. And its second expansion is coming out next year.
I don't want to straight jump into calling it like a scam.
I'm sure they're actually trying to produce a game.
Yeah. But I think they really went over themselves with what they were planning, clearly.
Too ambitious.
Too ambitious, exactly. And by the way, might I point out how behaved the cats are?
Yeah.
We are surrounded by cats, and all of them are just chilling, laying down, looking at us, licking their butts, doing...
Just doing cat things.
Yeah.
Yes, so yeah, Elite Odyssey comes out next year, because I've been getting well into Elite again. Making a ton of money, buying expensive ships that I have absolutely no idea who to fly, and getting them blown up. Well, there was a reveal trailer for Elite Odyssey, which is the next expansion. So in the last expansion, Horizons, or technically you could call Elite Beyond an expansion as well, which introduced the Thong. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. But in Horizons, you could land on the surface of moons, usually with no atmosphere, and drive around in an SRV, a surface reconnaissance vehicle. But in Odyssey, you get to actually walk on the surface of planets with atmosphere. So the first time you can look up and see a blue sky. But it's all integrated. Excuse me. Wow, that
It's
stuff's-
making you burp.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same.
It's all integrated.
Yeah.
So, for example, at the moment you can take a mission in a starship to go and disable the turrets of a megaship or something.
Yeah.
Or you could take another ship, another mission, to land on the surface of a planet and access the data port of a terminal inside a surface facility where
Yeah.
you'll be driving around in the SRV and you'll have to disable weapon turrets and then get in and use your data scanner and blah 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 blah. But in Odyssey they're going to integrate all of that
All right.
and add being on foot. So you and a group of friends, for example, you could have one guy flying top cover in a third of lance,
Mm-hmm.
taking out the base defences. A couple of guys driving around in SRVs, knocking out anti-personnel turrets, and a couple of others running around on foot,
Mm-hmm.
taking out, the troops. But all ground, vehicle ground, and in the air, working together
Yeah.
in a group of players
All right.
to take down an objective.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. And you know what? I bet it'll all just work. And I bet it'll come out on time. And I bet it won't cost $300 million.
Yep. That 300 million is just a bit insane.
Have you ever heard of a game called System Shock?
Yes.
What? You have?
Yeah.
What do you know about System Shock?
I've heard it a couple times. They have a System Shock 2 as well, don't they?
They do, yes.
I think I might have it on Steam or somewhere.
I think you probably do. System Shock was I can't even remember who did the original game, but I know it came out in the 90s.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was groundbreaking. Do you remember Deus Ex? Do you remember that game from, I can't remember, Ion Storm?
Say the name again?
Deus Ex.
Deus Ex. Yeah.
Not Deus Vult. Deus Ex.
Deus Vult.
Yeah, no, Deus Ex.
Yeah.
Deus Ex came out, and it was a great game. And Ion Storm, who were an
Yeah, I'm aware.
offshoot from John Romero's publishing development. Yeah.
I actually own Daikatana, by the
Oh
way.
dear God.
My mom bought me Daikatana.
Oh yeah, this is the one that everybody's talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, but not for any good reasons, Mum. But anyway, yeah, and rightly so. Deus Ex was probably going back a bit far for most of you, but I'm sure there are plenty of you out there who have played or at least heard of Deus Ex. But it was quite rightly praised for allowing you to play the game any way you wanted to. So if you're given an objective to break into an office building and steal some files, you could kick the front doors in, toss flashbangs inside, the lobby scene in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Go in with submachine guns blazing. You could kill everybody and then just take what you wanted. Or you could climb the walls,
Yeah.
break in through a window, do the stealth approach, or you could hack the various different security systems in the building. There was any number of different ways. There was no one way of doing it. So you could play the game the way you wanted to, and it very, very rightly got a lot of praise for that. But there seemed to be a lot of very, very short-memoried gaming journalists out there saying this was the first time you'd ever been able to do anything like this on the PC.
Or probably too young.
Bullshit.
Too young to know.
Because System Shock, and I can't remember who developed it, but I'm quite sure that you're all going to be pointing it out to me in the comments. And System Shock 2, the sequel, both let you play the same way.
All right.
There were any number of different ways. The combat route, the stealth route, the tech route, whatever. However you wanted to play the game, you could. That's how it went. In the original System Shock, you were on board this place called Citadel Station, which is an orbital. I think it was in orbit around Jupiter or something, whatever. And you were a hacker who'd been brought on board to test their intrusion countermeasure electronics.
Yep.
And you woke up, and everybody's dead, except for all the monsters running around. And not quite as bad as Dead Space, but that general idea.
Oh my god.
And the AI,
Yeah.
it was called Showdown, and it had basically gone doolally and had killed everybody, and then was performing. It was turning the nurses into killer cyborgs and blah blah and so on and so on. Well, the Guerrilla Collective, who delayed their show until last week, did a trailer for the System Shock remake. So they're doing a remake of System Shock, and it's still. Oh, are you okay, Susie?
I think she may be puking soon. Let's hope not.
Her allergies.
Yeah.
No, she's okay.
She's always had allergies since kitten. I've done everything I could. She'll have them for life.
She's all right.
Yeah.
So the thing that I liked about and you can check out the trailer, is it because they're remaking a lot of games. You've got the Command and Conquer remake. You've got the Warcraft 3 remake. There's all kinds of old games that are being redone because that's cheaper than actually writing something new. But the System Shock remake, they've actually managed to make it look like a 90s game.
All right.
Without looking like a 90s game.
All right, just the feel, the vibe. Yes.
In the way that Grand Theft Auto Vice City looked like it was in the 80s. It had that 80s vibe.
Do you know that Phil Collins gave a concert in Vice City?
I did not know that.
I learned about that very, very recently. And it's kind of, the whole scene is very awkward because at the time, technology wasn't like it is nowadays. And because they couldn't, like the how do you say, the engine capabilities, they weren't that advanced at the time.
Oh, right. So if you get 20,000 people trying to actually go to this concert, it would crash the server.
No. It's Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Yeah.
It's not a multiplayer.
Oh, right. Okay.
No, it's PS2 times.
Oh, right. I played it on PC, of course.
Basically, there's Phil Collins giving the concert, and there's like a awkward guy drumming in the back, and then the camera pans to the audience, and it's completely empty, and it's the most awkward scene.
Because they didn't have they couldn't handle the polygon load.
No, exactly. They had to save space, and it's the most awkward scene. But
just a pixelated audience, that's fine. It's like a skybox.
No, it was completely empty. It was so awkward. And I've played so much of Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I played that game straight for a month because I was sick as a kid.
Yeah.
During summer vacation, I got amygdalitis, which is like the laryngitis.
Oh.
The doctor didn't allow me to even leave the house. It was really bad. I would be crying just to, have liquids, like soup and so on, to keep myself fed. And I played that game for a month, and it's very interesting what the game does in a young person's mind.
So that explains your love of 80s music.
Oh yes, very much. It's thanks to my mom, but it very much started from that game. But just to complete this story. After I was allowed to leave the house, when I left the house, the first thing I saw was a bike. I think it was from one of my cousins, or they have a few bikes. I don't remember whose bike was it. Doesn't matter. And I saw the bike, and my thought process, the first one I've had
steal
was steal it. And then I thought, wait, this is real life. But it's very amazing what the game does on a young person's brain.
Yeah. I remember something very similar. It goes back a little bit further. Back in the 80s, my very first computer was an Acorn Electron. Right, this thing precedes the BBC Micro. It's the same generation, or possibly the generation after the ZX Spectrum. And they had a game on it. They couldn't call it Pac-Man for copyright reasons, but it was Pac-Man, except it was called Hungry Horace.
All right.
And it was basically Pac-Man. And I played that all day, every day, for weeks. And I found myself, at one point, I can't remember where I was, but I was in the men's room, and I'm standing in front of the urinal, and the wall is tiled.
Oh no.
And I'm standing there, and I'm going like this around the tiles because Hungry Horace had programmed me to see the patterns of the maze. And I realised I was doing it. I was like, I've got to stop playing this game.
Okay, thank goodness you were just looking. Oh
no, I wasn't pissing over it. Anyway, also at the Guerrilla Collective, Baldur's Gate 3,
Oh yes, Larian Studios. I
Yes.
love them so much.
the developers of the Divinity Original Sin games.
Oh, it's so good. If you haven't played those games, if in fact in the GOG website, GOG,
Goodoldgames.com.
it's at 15% discount at the moment
15 or 50?
50.
Divinity
Get it.
Original Sin. Or Divinity Original Sin 2. In fact, both of them. Amazing games.
They put so much love into their games.
Well,
Yeah.
they're developing Baldur's Gate 3. You probably don't understand the significance of the name Baldur's Gate.
No. I'm actually
Kids
very
these days,
new
eh?
into it.
Baldur's Gate 1 and Baldur's Gate 2, The Shadows of Arm, were Dungeons and Dragons role-playing games on
Alright.
PC, and
Alright.
they were fucking awesome.
All right.
And
Which
Larian
year?
Studio, late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, I was heavy into Pokemon at that time.
Yeah. But, yeah, just amazing games. And Larian Studios have been given, or have gotten the license to make the third game in the series.
No.
And I can't think of a better developer to do it, to do justice to the Baldur's Gate series. But it's coming to early access in August.
I like how a lot of companies, when they introduce a game, everyone is just like skeptic about it. It's just
Yeah.
very cynical about it.
It's like, oh, they're doing a new...
But
you know,
everyone is like,
like, they're doing a new Command and Conquer game.
how are they
who's-
gonna fuck this up?
How are they going to fuck this up?
Meanwhile, Larian
Yeah.
Studios is like, yes, bring
Yeah.
it on. It's like, they are such a good company. They put so much love in their project. I can't wait for Baldur's Gate.
It's
I'm gonna
like-
be streaming.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
hearing that CD Projekt Red are doing Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh,
Yay!
exactly.
If, you know, if you heard that Electronic Arts were developing it in-house, you'd be like, oh,
It's like, how they gonna
fuck.
monetize this in a very bad way?
Speaking of which...
Oh, by the way, before we change subject, there are news about Baldur's Gate. You may want to put a subtitle or something down below because I can't remember exactly because my memory is crap. But I think the game should be start to work on coming out in August.
I literally just said it's coming to
Oh, you
early
did?
access in August.
Oh,
Have you been taking your memory pills?
I forgot.
Yeah, I thought you were.
I didn't hear you there. My bad. Yeah.
Straight in one ear, straight out the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Star Wars Squadrons has been leaked
Yes.
again. It was first leaked in March by the PlayStation Network Twitter bot before being pulled. Then it got leaked again last week with a Pilots Wanted graphic and a non-functional pre-order link on Xbox.com before being pulled again. But Electronic Arts just confirmed that it's all true. Personally, I don't think these were leaks. I think this is...
I think this is evolved very controlled.
This is their viral marketing
It's
at work. But whatever, that's not really important.
yeah.
We don't know a lot about it, but the graphics showed an Imperial and Rebel fighter pilot helmet next to each other with a bunch of X-Wings and A-Wings screaming in one direction with a bunch of TIE fighters screaming meeting in the other direction. So it looks like a multiplayer Star Wars dogfighting game, like the space bits in Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Do you know what I would absolutely love, and probably you won't agree with me? A new pod racer.
You're right.
I had the pod racer game for Nintendo 64.
Yeah, actually, the pod racer game, Star Wars
It
pod
was
racer,
really good.
it wasn't bad.
For its time, it
Yeah.
was really good. I mean, nowadays, you go back to it, it's like, god damn, this is awful. But back in the day, Star Wars pod racer, I think it was for other, how do you say, hardware as well. But I had it for Nintendo 64, and it was really, really
Oh
good.
yeah, I'm sure you can get it on PlayStation 1. And you can get it on
Probably.
PC.
Yeah.
In fact, you can still get it on Steam.
I had some amazing memories with friends playing that game, and I would absolutely love a new pod racer. For that one, for the dogfighting in space, I don't really feel.
Well, you see, I saw the graphic that got leaked, and straight away I was thinking, X-Wing, TIE Fighter, Defender of the Empire, B-Wing.
Yes.
It's a shame you can't see what she's doing. But she's just being deliberately and maliciously cute. Stop it, Akazuki. It's not fair on the other cats. Stop being so beautiful. But I started thinking of these amazing LucasArts back when they were called, actually back then they were called Lucasfilm Games. Star Wars X-Wing, and then the expansions for that. B-Wing, A-Wing, no, B-Wing, whatever. And then TIE Fighter, which was the culmination of everything that was epic about X-Wing, just better. And so on and so on. And then even Star Wars X-Wing Alliance. These amazing single-player games.
Yeah.
There was no multiplayer in X-Wing or TIE Fighter because there was no multiplayer back then.
Yep.
But then X-Wing versus TIE Fighter came out, and you could play X-Wings versus TIE Fighters and TIE Bombers and Interceptors and Defenders and A-Wings and B-Wings and Y-Wings on the Microsoft Internet Gaming Zone. Remember that, kids? And then, of course, X-Wing Alliance came out with like modern graphics and blah blah and so on. And they were great. They were great. But I have every confidence that Star Wars Squadrons will have none of that because writing a decent single-player campaign is hard and costs money. Yes, Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm looking at you, and it's much more difficult to cram monetization and microtransactions into a single-player story than it is to something multiplayer. So
they're probably gonna add skins and stuff like that. Do you know? Now that we're talking about games and Star Wars, do you know what was my first game ever? Star Wars not Shadow of the Colossus. That's
one hell of a crossover.
Yes.
I'd love to see that cosplay.
Oh no! Star Wars Shadow of the Empire.
Oh, with what's his name? Dash Rendar.
Like a guy that looks like Lord Flashheart. Woof. Yes.
Yeah. And it was I can't remember the name, the criminal syndicate who were the bad guys. And
yes.
Blah, blah,
yes.
Whatever. Yeah.
I try to most years during May the 4th play that game, and there in when it comes to games, one of the biggest pains when it comes to all games around, it's in that file, it's in that group of there is no bigger pain than the R2 R2D2, thank you, level. For those who experience that game, you know what I'm talking about. There's no bigger pain than that level.
Oh yes, you've got no weapons. You just have to avoid stormtroopers and stuff. And
no, basically you're put into sort of a small room together with the R2D2, and all you have is a fucking pistol, and you have to destroy the R2D2.
So shoot it.
You cannot really. It's really complicated. And my child brain.
You tell the best stories, Rita.
I know. But my child brain at the time could not figure this out, and I went back to it as an adult. I was like, "Damn, it was so easy. If I only knew back in the day." My mom passed that level for me, bless her.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So anyway, the PlayStation 5 games reveal.
Oh, have you seen the PlayStation 5?
What, the Tower of Mordor?
It looks like a router. Someone actually took a photo of their router, their Virgin router, with two letters upright sideways, and that's basically what it looks like.
Because it comes in two versions, one with or without a disk drive.
All right.
So one of them's got this bulge on the side where you put your DVDs and Blu-rays in, but you can have it without any kind of drive and just stream stuff and download it.
All right.
But it looks like the Tower of Sauron. It's got those. You just picture the red eye of Sauron floating above the top of it.
It only took hours for people to apply the Rule 34 to that. There are.
What? Okay, you get to laugh at me now. What's Rule 34?
You don't know what Rule 34 is. Oh, he's so innocent.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. It's Rule 34. There's a porn version of everything somewhere. Is that it?
It's pretty much kind of like it.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
And there's already artwork of people turning the PS5 into a sexy woman.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, man.
See, I knew what Rule 34 was.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I
anyway.
need to send you the images. I can't
You
afford.
really don't need to send me those images.
Oh, come on, please. I need to share my pain with someone.
It's cool. Oh, right, okay. Oh, this is horrible. Here, look at that.
So I don't have to suffer alone. Yeah.
So anyway, the games that were revealed, I I'm not saying they were bad. They certainly looked good,
Mm.
but none of them looked like. Do you remember the PlayStation 5 Unreal graphics and technology demo?
Yes, yes.
None of them looked like that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I mean, none of them looked bad, and I have to admit I was getting excited in particular for Horizon Zero Dawn sequel.
I actually missed that trailer. I think the trailer came out, and I missed that because I joined a. I like to watch Lyric. He's a big live streamer. I have been watching him for a long, long time, and he was passing all the trailers, and I missed that one.
Well,
But people were excited about
remember
it.
you played Spider-Man?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a Spider-Man Miles Morales, new Spider-Man. He's not Peter Parker now. Peter Parker isn't Spider-Man
Yeah.
anymore. The same way that Jane, what's her name, is now Thor. But there's a new Spider-Man,
Alright.
Miles Morales, and it's a standalone sequel
Mm-hmm.
to The Amazing Spider-Man on PlayStation 4.
Mhm.
So there's that. It looks just like The Amazing Spider-Man on PlayStation 4. Yeah, I'm not seeing any of the graphical leaps and bounds that were promised in the Unreal graphics showcase.
The Spider-Man game is actually really good.
Yeah, I was watching you playing it.
Yeah, it's really, really good. It's one of those. I mean, of course, you could play it on PC, but it's one of those games that definitely fits into console gameplay. The type of game that you can play while slouched
I'm sorry.
on the sofa.
I'm just going to turn the camera so you can. Oh, I don't want to.
Careful with what you show. You need to clip that.
Oh, Juicy. Hello, Juicy. You beautiful ginger chonker. Look at that belly. Ah, she's a happy cat. And that's what we were laughing at earlier. That's Akazuki. Or at least it's a leg and a tail and a bit of a hip. Oh, there it is. Akazuki. Akizuki. Oh, hello. Hey, baby. There she is.
Howdy, folks.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on off camera, which is why you might often see us going, no. So I have no idea what we're actually looking at. But yeah, none of the. I mean, fair enough. You know, there's plenty of development lead time involved in coding a game.
Yeah.
Years in cases, or 10 years if you start as and counting. But it's not like Epic just suddenly unveiled the Unreal 5 engine onto everybody cold. I mean, developers have been working with it for God knows how long. But none of these new PlayStation 5, it's just kind of frustrating that right after seeing this Unreal 5 graphics demo on PlayStation 5, all of the games that they announced for PlayStation 5 look like PlayStation 4 games. But hey, don't worry, PlayStation 5 is getting its own version of Grand Theft Auto 5. That game's had more releases than Skyrim.
Yeah. It's just milking a very dried cow at this point.
Yeah, flogging a dead horse.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, the Horizon Zero Dawn sequel, which doesn't look any different to the PlayStation 4 version, but I don't care because I love the story, I love the gameplay, and I'm probably going to get a PlayStation 5. But the good news for all you members of the glorious PC gaming master race is that at least half of all of the games that were showcased are also coming out on PC.
Alright, that's good. I like that there is less. You only can get these on these and these on that. I wish they would do more cross servers between platforms.
There were some PS5 exclusives, but nothing that anybody was getting particularly excited about.
My absolute dream would be have cross-platform with servers.
Well, they just came up with cross-platform play for No Man's Sky, apparently. So Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, and I don't care.
That's great.
I mean, I've never. Everybody's like, "Yay, cross-play." Why should? I can understand why the game developer would be excited because, bigger games community. But when you play No Man's Sky, it can be weeks before you see another player in the first place.
Yeah.
So for the player, Why should you care?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, well, you can play Elite, Xbox, PlayStation 4 and PC, and I'm pretty sure they're all on the same servers. Because let's face it, the consoles are basically just PCs now anyway. It's all PC technology inside, with a couple of proprietary chips just to make it a PlayStation or to make it an Xbox. And I believe that they develop them on the PC. Even if the game isn't coming out on PC, it gets developed on PC for PlayStation or for Xbox. So it's just a question of developer time and money, really. And that depends on how well the game sells, whether or not they will actually bother porting it. So
for the best part of 10 years, I haven't been able to play with, for example, my best friend. We used to play together almost on a daily basis.
Well, this is what happens if you make friends with console peasants.
Well, technically, he was on PC, and then his PC broke, and ever since he became a console peasant...
This is Diogo from Lisbon, I believe.
Yeah, Diogo. Bless him. He's my childhood best friend. And ever since, we've just been loving kind of the same games, just not being able to play with each other ever again.
But now we have a PlayStation 4.
I know.
Which you'll probably be inheriting when I get the PlayStation 5.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. Actually, I can...
So, I'm sorry. Are you complaining that you're getting a free PlayStation 4?
Yes.
Fucking millennials. God almighty, so entitled.
Yeah. I'm actually, if we get a PlayStation 4, I'm actually... we need to figure out how to stream from it, not... She's having dreams. She's
her feet are twitching.
Paws. Oh my god.
She's chasing rabbits. Well,
we need to figure out how to live stream from it, because 520p, it sucks ass.
No, you need to figure out how to live stream from it.
Oh, but Paul, you're the man.
You're the kid who grew up in the internet age.
I'm putting the... But in Portugal, the 90s were like the 80s for us.
The 90s were last year for Portugal, I know. I grew up in the age when a telephone had a dial on it.
I remember that. I remember that. Alright? I remember those times.
You know the reason why they call it a dial tone? Because you had to actually dial the number.
Actually, I want to make a challenge to people watching this for the comment section. Describe your age with something that you do that people nowadays want. Something like that.
That people want or won't?
Don't nowadays.
Don't, right.
Like, describe your age. Things that you do now that wouldn't be available then
for
or
me,
in the present.
It would be getting excited when somebody knocks on the door. That's what it used to be like. Right? Yeah. Somebody would knock on the door and be like, "Ooh, I wonder who that is."
Yeah.
And you'd go, and, "Oh, come in," and your mum would get the best crockery
same thing with
out.
letters.
Yeah, we'd get the best crockery out, and you'd put some food out for the guest, whoever it was, and it was like a big thing. Nowadays, somebody knocks on the door, and everybody's like, "Are you expecting anything?"
Yeah.
I'm not expecting anything. Hide.
Yeah.
Peeking out the window. I don't recognise them. It's completely different.
It is.
Anyway, I've run out of stuff to read.
Oh, alright. And I forgot what I was going to say, what mine was.
That's a shame, because you tell such good stories.
Well!
Anyway, every week we come to the end, and I keep hoping that she's going to get it, but she never does. So I'm hoping she's going to do a bit of research after this week, because this is the part where I say, and it's good night from me.
And good night to you, to me, to you, to me.
No, she's still. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. She's from Portugal. She was born in 1991. So, but.
I love the Chuckle Brothers.
She loves the Chuckle Brothers.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And Leslie.
Look up Morecambe and Wise.
Never heard of. You see?
There you go. You see, Morecambe and Wise were a pair of comedians from the 60s and 70s.
Mm-hmm. I probably should like that kind of humor then.
Yeah.
I like.
And they would finish the show by doing a fake news broadcast where they would read out all kinds of stupid and funny fake news articles, and then one of them would say, "And it's good night from me," and the other one would say, "And it's good night from him." And then they both say, "Good night."
And then there's, I think it's Leslie Phillips.
Yeah.
And then there is. Oh my!
Actually, that's George Takei.
Dong.
I say.
I say ding dong. And then there's the other guy. Oh, matron.
Kenneth Williams.
Yes, Kenneth Williams. I love him so much.
That's where that last minute of the video went over most of the audience watching it.
You need to watch Kenneth Williams, Leslie Phillips.
Leslie Phillips.
Leslie Phillips.
They're all dead now, of course.
Yeah, they unfortunately so.
And have been for like 20 years.
But I absolutely love them. And my favorite, of course.
Oh, this is what happens when I try to end the video. She suddenly remembers all the things that she wanted to say an hour ago.
That Tony Farino.
Oh, yeah. There's a British comedian. I can't remember his name.
I forgot.
Yeah, he was Alan Partridge. And anyway, he also did this this character called Tony Farino, who's a Portuguese pop star, but like really, really creepy.
Yeah. He has songs like "Bigamy at Christmas," "Help Yourself." You know.
If you're not a young Portuguese woman living in Britain, none of this is funny.
Lap Dancing Lady. That's all the songs in his album.
But of course, I took great delight in showing Tony Farino this piss take of Portuguese pop star's character to Rita, and she actually thinks it's funny.
It's funny because it's true. Even to this day, we still have that kind of music in the country.
Wow.
Lap Dancing Lady.
Don't worry, I'll edit all of this out. Take care, folks.
Yeah.